Welcome everybody. Welcome back to Qigong Live and Live. We've had a few pre-recorded ones. We've been busy on our 200-hour Qigong teachers training. We run them every year here in Bali. They're a very, very big success, and it's fun to go into the deeper workings of Qigong and what's happening inside your body. It's always like come back. It's always new to come back and start filming again and starting talking to you again. And what I've got from it, and there's so many different things come up because there's lots of people. There was a big group of people. And they all asked different questions, but there was something that came up which I thought was fascinating. It came up right at the end. And I want to delve into that consciousness because this is the advanced class. So we want to talk about things that are more advanced than just normal moving your arms, breathing in and breathing out. We want to talk more about the mechanics of what's happening inside the body. And the thing that came up was about the silence and what actually happens in the silence, because silence is not silent. And I don't mean silence as in brain busy noise in your brain. I mean inside the silence when your brain's quiet, there's something else that happens. And we're going to see if we can access that today. And we'll try a couple of exercises and see if we can motivate ourselves to experience the non-silent silence. Interesting terminology. But anyway, inside that, I had an experience of inside the silence was everything. All knowing, all understanding was inside the silence. In that space. And sometimes I think of silence and then I watch my mind's thoughts coming and going. But this was different again. This was an experience of in the silence was this all-knowing. I don't like to use that term because it's very vague. But it was like I could understand everything inside the silence, and it was almost like the silence was speaking to me. So I just want to see if we can manifest that. I'm sure we can. So before we do that, today we're going to have to do a bit of a warm-up to be able to do that, because you need to be able to get the body going. So we're going to do the figure eight, where you go across and turn, go across and turn. So how this works is this figure eight, if you think of a figure eight like that, it's not quite like that. That's the idea. If I do it this way, that's the figure eight. And the other thing when you're doing this is not to stick your hip out the side and zip out like this, because it's not a dance. When you do that, your body goes across and turns. The whole body goes across and turns, yeah? That idea of the turning frequency. So when we turn, we go across and turn. What we want is to go right across first. So the figure eight, all of a sudden is going across, turn at the end, go across, turn at the end, go across. So the figure eight's very small. It's like that figure eight. Turn, go across. So you go all the way across first, and we're going to go forward. So go forward and turn. All the way around first, and then come back, and then turn all the way around, and then come across. So what you don't want to do is, as you turn, start coming back. Yeah, what you want to do is turn first, all the way around, and then come across. All the way across, turn, without moving. Good, stop, turn, go across. All the way across first, then turn. Now this is not easy to do because we have an inclination of when we do this, as soon as we speed it up, we start turning on the way in and we start turning on the way out. And that's the incorrect what I want you to do. Well, I want you to experience anyway. Go across, turn, go across, turn. So the other thing we're going to do with this as we go across is we're going to stand on our kidney point. So kidney 1 point, the bottom of our foot, and the palm of our foot, right, and the front part of your foot between the two pads, kidney 1 point. And we're going to stand on that point. And there's no weight in your heels. So as we go across, we're turning on the kidney point. We go across the other side. So we go to the other side, turn on the kidney point. Yep, go across, turn on the kidney point. So the weight in the heels doesn't change in either way. The weight in the heels stays exactly the same, no weight in the heels, there isn't any. And all you're doing is transferring weight from one kidney point across the other, and then rotating on the kidney point. Go across, turn, go across, turn. And it's easier if you don't try and put it together. If you put it together, what will happen if you try and put it together is you're going to, as I say, you're going to start getting this thing going on. And that's Lazy Eight. There's a movie about that, isn't it? Lazy Eight. So we're going to go across and turn. So we're going to do it quite precise. Across, turn, across, turn. So you do the whole rotation first before you come across. I know I've repeated that a few times, but I just got to say it because when I find watching people do it, they always turn, and as they turn, they start coming back. The same thing on the way across. Go all the way across, then turn. Go all the way across, then turn. Because what will happen is the same with the other one. On the way across, you start turning. And on the way across, you start turning. And then on the way back, you start turning. So we don't want to do that. So go across, turn, cross, turn, all the way around first, then across, all the way around. That's it. I think you got the idea of what I'm saying. But you have to be disciplined, not to move. You have to be able to all the way around, then come across. Now the whole body's turning. My whole body turns. It's just not my top part. I'm not just moving my top part of my body. I'm actually putting my whole body's turning. I'm rotating on the top of my femur. It's your hip joint, the big hip joint. You're sitting on top of the femur and you're rotating on the hip joint. Go across, rotate on the hip joint. Good. But the focus is rotating on the kidney point because that's where it's coming from the ground. Cross, rotate, across, rotate. So what I've done is I've given your mind something to do that's complicated. So your mind's busy thinking about what we're doing now. Go across, turn, go across, turn, go across, turn. This wakes up all the energy, the meridians on the right side, and then wakes them all up on the left. The 3 yin and the 3 yang, the 3 coming up and the 3 going down. The 3 come up the inside and the 3 out go down the outside. They come up the inside and they turn, rotate, go down the outside. Yeah. Good. Turn, turn. Now your mind's suitably confused. Good. And stop, and then bring your hands straight up to the front. Good. Then let your elbows roll your arms down and go into the tree hugging position. Now for today, I want you to have a 2-finger gap between your fingers. You just sit there, relax your shoulders. You don't have your elbows up and you don't have your elbows down. You have them like halfway between the two of them, with a 2-finger gap between your heels. And if you have a dart floor, you'll be able to see the energy going between the fingers. And just sit and relax. Good. In this position, pull your chin back. Take your pelvis forward, or rotate your pubic bone backwards. That's the bone right at the bottom. You can rotate that backwards, which brings the pelvis forward, or you can bring the pelvis back forward, which rotates the pelvis. Either or, it happens the same way, yeah? So we have that idea of that rotation of the hips. Bring your chin back. Good. Now you can't see this, of course, but if you want to know what it looks like, how straight you are, how you do that is you get a mirror, or you go and stand beside the mirror and have a look in the mirror, and you'll see how straight you are because you want from your lower back, your shoulders in a straight line. You might find your line sitting backwards. You might find yourself rotating forward. I'm not too sure which way it is. Yeah, might find yourself doing either of that. Yep. Very good. So sit in this position. So in this position, now that you've pulled the chin back, tuck the pelvis, forget about your pelvis, forget about your chin, forget about your arms, forget about standing on your 2 kidney points, and just sit there quietly. And as soon as I say quietly, you'll find your mind start thinking. And so you've got to tell your mind, no thoughts, have no thoughts at all, just be in the present moment where nothing's happening. And try, this is the wrong word to use, sit inside the stillness, sit inside the silence and do nothing. Think of nothing, be nothing, just be aware of silence. Good. And rotate your arms down, palms down, bring your elbows back, bring your hands down. Now tree hug is a very, very famous Qigong posture. There's a few different variations how you can do that. And they use it for a meditation purpose, but can you see how hard it is to sit there holding your arms up and try not think of your arms because they start getting sore. They feel like they're big heavy weights and you feel your shoulder stress coming in. You're standing on your kidney points with your knees slightly bent, your knees start shaking, your legs have all the power inside it. So they're very hard postures to relax because the pain is getting your attention. And then the pain occupies your mind. It gives you something to do. So you have to stand there with no pain and nothing happening in the body. So we're going to do it even easier. We'll just take one back down and just let your arms hang down. And just move your hips a little bit so your arms are just flopping, yeah? Good. Now I want you to roll back. We normally don't do this in Qigong, but we're going to do it today. I want you to straighten your legs and sit on your heels. Yeah. And sit evenly weighted between the front and the back on your heels. So you're standing on your bones. Yeah. And just relax that posture. You'll know this posture better than standing on the front part of your feet, because as soon as you put on the front part of your feet, then your kidney points, you just engage all the muscles, because the muscles are engaged because I've got bent knees. If I straighten my knees, rock back into my heels, now I'm standing on the structure of my bones. So the muscles aren't engaged, so all the meridians, the energy going up and down. The meridians are stopped, or slowed down anyway, differently. And now just the yin chao mind that travels up through the bones are working now, so we've only got one of them on the storage vessel. Have your arms down. Good. Now you can just gaze at the wall. There's a terminology in Qigong, of course, about look without looking. It means you don't actually focus on anything, just look. And if there's a picture on the wall, or you're looking at the screen, or wherever you're looking, don't look at that either, because you can hear me talking anyway. So just focus on nothing. Have your arms hanging down, stay on your bones, and just look out. Don't close your eyes though. If you close your eyes, your mind's going to start making images for you. So keep your eyes open so you stay present to yourself, present to your surrounding, without looking, without thinking. Anyway, says, how do you do that? Practice. And then observe. Be the observer of the silence. Good. So I love that place. If anybody come online just then, I think the picture's frozen. Come on, we're standing like this, not moving. Oh, and they start clicking, oh, God, it's frozen. No, we weren't moving. So that feeling, and just notice how busy the mind gets inside that place when you just stop. We're going to try something else now, because what can also occupy your mind is you can start thinking about your breathing as well. So we're going to stop breathing as well. And I'll show you how to do that too, and hold your breath. And observe the stillness with the breath being held as well. Yeah. So just go back onto your heels. Have your arms just hanging down. Bring your head. Just sort of hang your head sitting on top of your shoulders without any pressure. Don't let it flop forward because the muscles engaged. Bring it back slightly so the muscles can relax. Good. And just stand there. And take a breath in. And then hold your breath. And then breathe out. So we get about a 5-second window, unless you're a free diver, and you can get a bigger window. But after about 5 seconds, 5 to 6, depending on the person, it's usually about 5, the fight and flight kicks inside your body because you're not breathing, and your body thinks you're dying, and it doesn't want you to do that. So it starts panicking because you're not breathing. It's like if you stop eating. When you fast, the body panics, thinks there's something wrong with that as well. So when you're not breathing, the body just goes into almost panic mode. And it kicks in about 4 or 5 seconds, because quite often we hold our breath. When people are on computers, they've done studies that people hold their breath while they're on the computer for long periods of time. And what's creating that is it creates lots of cortisol, creates a lot of stress hormone inside the body. And so when you hold your breath, if you only do 5 seconds, then it doesn't click in. It's before it clicks in, then you breathe again. The body goes, oh, okay. It's almost they're about to ring the alarm bell and go, oh, and then they're breathing again, so I don't need to ring it. So we're trying to get to that stage. As I say, free divers, what the free divers do, of course, is they teach the body not to ring the bell. They teach the body for long periods inside the relaxation that don't need to breathe. And you train yourself not to breathe, Because otherwise, as soon as you want to breathe, that whole thing goes inside there and it starts pumping the body with adrenaline, trying to work out why you aren't breathing, trying to work what's going on in the body. It's a very clever mechanism how it works. So we're going to do it for a couple of times. We're just going to breathe out. And when you breathe out, you can breathe in, hold your breath. And when you breathe out, just breathe out slowly. Don't breathe out like a just breathe out nice and slowly. So then there's no panic inside the breath, and then breathe in slowly. Hold your breath without moving. 5 seconds. And then breathe out, relax. That's it. Very good. Go try that. Breathe in through your nose. Hold your breath. Don't count. I'll tell you when you breathe out. And breathe out slowly. Breathe in. Hold your breath. And breathe out. When you hold your breath, become completely motionless, like nothing's moving in your body. Don't change your look, don't change your stare, everything just stops. Yeah? Take a breath in. Hold your breath. And breathe out. Breathe in, hold your breath. Stand motionless. Breathe out. So you're observing the stillness. Observe the stillness and the quiet. Breathe in. And breathe out. Now what you're going to be aware of course, is the noise around your room. You might hear road noise, you might hear car noise, you might hear, I don't know, deep freezers, you could hear washing machines, whatever's going on in the house. Acknowledge that sound that you can hear it, and just let it go and come back to yourself inside the quietness. Don't bring that noise into here, just leave it where it is. Acknowledge and come back, yeah? So breathe in. Hold your breath. Don't move, motionless. And then breathe out. And again breathe in. And breathe out. One more time. Observe the stillness. And breathe out. So the exercises, when we do exercises that change directions, there's a place where it stops. It's like from the energy it's like a pendulum of a clock. If we have a clock and the pendulum's going backwards and forwards. It looks like it's moving the whole time. It doesn't stop. But we know theoretically it has to stop because it can't change directions if it doesn't. So when it comes up to the side, there's a point where it's actually got to stop, but you don't see it necessarily because it stops such a millisecond, and then it comes back the other way, but you know it has to stop because it's got to change direction. So that idea of that direction change and the pause, that place where it just stops and then it comes back again. And you can amplify it in Qigong exercises to accentuate that pause, that stillness inside the exercise. I'll do an exercise to show you what I mean. And to find that place, that meditation, people talk about the gap between two thoughts, the space between two thoughts, so the space between two breaths. And they're still looking for the same place, this place where stillness, where nothing exists, just consciousness, just your consciousness with nothing else going on. And it's better to hold your breath in that place, because if you don't hold your breath, then your mind starts watching your breathing. The mind will do anything to occupy itself. So what we're doing is taking away all external things that occupy itself, but we don't want to close your eyes, because as soon as you close your eyes, the mind goes, yeah, it's closed, and then start thinking. It's like when you go to bed at night, you close your eyes, and your mind's got used to that's a playground for the mind when you've got your eyes closed, unless you train yourself not to. So keep your eyes open and be aware of your physical form, physical body, in the space, in the stillness, not moving, not breathing, and just be aware of the stillness of the body and the mind. But it's better if your eyes are open. I'm not talking about just there's no distraction. If you're outside, it's a bit more tricky because there's lots of things going past, but you look without looking at anything, just it is movement, just let it go. Doesn't matter. Just let it go and come back to the stillness inside you. Yep, we'll try it again. Good. Breathe in and hold your breath. Don't move. And then breathe out. Breathe in and out through your nose. Breathe in through your nose. Hold your breath. And then breathe out. See if you can be even more still. Breathe in. Hold your breath, don't move. And breathe out. You'll catch your mind trying to find things to focus on. It keeps going out, trying to listen to things. Things bring things in, a tap or something outside. You hear a bird will sing or something, anything. The mind won't go straight off to that because it needs to. But in the present moment, there's nothing for the mind to do because nothing's happening. The mind's very good for remembering the past and planning for the future, but in the present moment, it dissolves. And so inside the dissolving of the mind, that's where the stillness lies. But it's not still. It's anything but still. Inside the all the wisdom lives, yeah? Try one more time. Everybody will have different experiences of this. Some people will find this really annoying. They'll find it frustrating because the mind will not like this because you're trying to shut it off. You're trying to turn your computer off and your computer doesn't want to turn off. It wants to keep listening. It wants series to still be on. God, I was trying to explain to my son the other day with his iPad. I said, it's listening to you all the time. He said, no, it's not. It's turned off. I said, ask Siri a question. And he goes, Siri, can you turn on YouTube? And it just turned YouTube. I said, so it's listening all the time. And unless you've got it shut down, it's still listening. And in some cases, even when it's shut down, things are listening as well. So I said to her, do you really want somebody listening to everything you say and everything you say to your friends, everything you talk, everything we're talking, it's listening to it. Yeah. And so it's not really a good thing. So it's a bit of invasion of your own privacy. So I just showed him how to turn it off. So nothing's listening. But we don't want anything listening. This is the one here. And what we're doing is we're observing the silence. We're observing the stillness that when inactivity, when our body just stops. It's like those street actors where they stand there motionless with all the silver paint on, they just stand there motionless. That's an incredible gift to be able to stand that quiet, motionless. And they'll get to experience what we're talking about because they're practicing to do it. Take a breath in. Hold your breath, stop. And then breathe out. Breathe in. Hold your breath, stop. And breathe out. Very good. Just shake your knees and arms out just to get rid of that. So you'll also find you'll feel your body moving. You'll feel movement in your legs. You'll feel, some of you might even feel your heart's beating. Yeah, you'll feel body movement. You'll feel gurgling tummies if you had breakfast. So you're going to have different things going on, and just observe what it is and just let it go. Just don't hang on to anything. Just be the observer of all the things, the activity. Observer of the sounds. Observer everything, and let it go, and come back into the stillness. And that stillness gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So I love that place. It's something miraculous happens in that place where it just all stops. And then you start again. Now, how to do this to really accentuate this is go into a busy road. Today, sometime, go out to a busy road or stand on the side of the road and just stop. And you'll be able to feel everything going past, all the energy of the cars, the people, the trees, everything's just energy, but you'll just stop. And have that experience. It's quite bizarre, anyway. My new word. People say bizarre a lot. I like the word bizarre. It means I don't understand. It's a great word, anyway. So enjoy that. Enjoy the silence that's not silent, and enjoy that space today. And just sit quietly, even if you don't have to necessarily stop breathing. Just somewhere you sit quietly and just stop. And you can breathe in if you can breathe in and breathe out without having to stop the breathing. Just breathe slowly in and slowly out, but don't focus on your breathing. And just sit in the silence. And yes, to say, even if there's noise outside of you, you're silent. And there's a difference. Anyway, try that. See how you get on. It's a very beautiful space. Yeah. It's a beautiful day today. We'll see you all next week. You know what we do. We'll spend a week in silence. We actually just did that on the retreat too, where Josie, my wife, was doing sound therapy, and it's quite extraordinary. And it takes people into a really high frequency, a high level of consciousness. And when they sit outside of that, and then I got people to go and eat in silence after that. And you go into the dining room where everybody was, and it's just still, and people eating, and being mindful of the food they're consuming and the flavors and the taste, but they're not talking to anybody else. They're just staying present to themselves. It's such a beautiful experience. You never tried eating in silence, try. It's very, very cool. The monks do it a lot. It's one of their practices. They eat in silence every day. Yeah. So the conversation doesn't interfere with the energy of the food. Have a beautiful day, eh? Roll back onto your thumbs. Left hand underneath, right hand on top. Two thumbs together. Gong. Make a fist with your left hand, cover it with your right. Bring it towards your heart. And then bring all the surplus chi back to your lower dantian and back to your physical center. Good. And just stop for that split second. Cool. And then step back. And bow to each other. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Enjoy the stillness. Enjoy the silence. It's a great thing to. That's why I like the mornings. First thing in the morning, wake up early, 5 o'clock. Everybody's asleep, and you can find it more. There's no car noises out. People generally out driving around. That, and it's hard to find sometimes in busy south and cities and things. But early in the morning is the best time because it's the quietest time. It's such a beautiful thing. Have a beautiful week, everybody. Bye bye. See you next week.